Okay, so I'll just leave it on this for a second while we wait for the admins to load in. And we'll be getting underway with the draft in just a moment's time. Yeah, just waiting on one more. And just gonna take this time to familiarize myself with the team names. But anyway, welcome back to the Adroids TT eSports Dota 2 Weekly. This is the third week of this weekly competition, and this is our semifinal. This is one of our two semifinals. This is going to be between Team winRAR over on the Radiant side with first pick, and ASG with a name that I am not going to attempt to pronounce over from the Dire. As always, I am basically bringing you guys this one. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as introductions go. We've got this best of one semifinal, I guess if anyone was wondering about that, and then we're going to be on to our grand final best of three. The winner of that is going to be taking home the winning team is going to be taking home a set of TT eSports, I'm going to have to find the name. It's 5 TT eSports Ferris M Gaming mouse pads. Is the prize for this evening's competition, or today's competition, depending on where you are. For me, it is firmly the evening. We're well past midnight, and yeah, it's 2:15 in the morning, but my sleep schedule is so ruined that it doesn't matter anyway. So welcome to this game. A reminder that Silencer is also in the pool now as well, for tournament captains mode. For latest captains mode, Medusa has also been implemented, so expecting to see her next week make it through into the latest, and that should be interesting as well. But as we've seen, Silencer has been mixing things up a little bit. winRAR going to opt to ban out the Wisp and the Darkseer here, and we're going to have Batrider banned out by ASG. Nyx probably the question mark at the moment, though Coddle is still in the pool as well, along with the Magnus. So there are going to be options for both teams once we get out of this last ban. And a tricky one, frankly, from ASG. They have to consider what they least like playing against, and they're actually going to opt to push something else through, banning out the Lone Druid here. So Nyx Assassin is going to be picked up by winRAR, and Magnus, I believe, will be available as the selection for ASG, though they could still go for the Keeper of the Light as well, and try and angle themselves towards Coddle PL, which, as we've seen, is very, very strong. Now, as we have seen over the last couple of weeks, it's very, very strong, and there are ways to deal with it, but when you've got the Coddle paired with the PL, it becomes significantly more difficult. PL on his own, not that bad. So Coddle and Bane are going to be picked up here by ASG. I love it. It's a great set of picks. It leaves them the option to go with an offensive tri-lane, with something like a Gyrocopter, or still go for defensive tri-lane and have that option for the Phantom Lancer. Though if they're going to go for PL, it needs to be this third and final pick. I don't think winRAR are going to aren't going to let it get through further in the pool, and they're going to opt to lock in the Magnus right now. So getting their hands on Mag, always nice. Very strong pick as always. Though right now they've already picked up 2 melee, so they need to be a little bit cautious about how they proceed from this point forward, and this makes life a little bit easier for ASG as far as the draft goes, since you don't want to have a melee stacked lineup. There are just too many ways to punish it, simply. So winRAR, they don't necessarily have to cover the Magnus pick by taking the Rubik, since ASG already have their 2 supports taken, more or less. And if ASG really want to be showing an aggressive tri-lane with the next pickup, they could go for something like a Gyrocopter, which would be very Empire-esque, though I think they've probably got room to try and get him through the pool. And it just depends. If they're going forward with the plan that, yes, we definitely need to be offensively tri-laning, which they might need to do now with the Phantom Lancer being taken by winRAR. But if they're going forward with that strategy, then they don't really want to show it right now, and not being flexible in the draft can always be a mistake. If you go into the game saying we're going to draft exactly this lineup, then you can be in for disappointment, especially in the second ban phase. There's just so much variability there. So winRAR are actually going to opt to lock in the Phantom Lancer, and this is interesting because they've now got a double melee, potentially defensive tri-lane, matched up against an offensive tri-lane that ASG might be running. If the execution goes well for winRAR, then winning their defensive tri-lane pretty much means that they win the game, since Phantom Lancer will have enough space to sort of get rolling, and there aren't really any carries that stand up against him in the ultra late game. Once he gets there, he's nigh on unstoppable, and we've seen all sorts of things picked to try and deal with the Phantom Lancer in the late game. We've seen Mag plus Lone Druid plus Alchemist going for mass cleave on 3 big right-clicking units. Didn't work. We've seen Obsidian Destroyers. He doesn't attack fast enough to kill illusions. We're probably going to see some Medusas as well once we get to next week, but still not sure how well it's going to be working out. The people have been theory crafting for a while on the effectiveness of Medusa's ultimate and things like that. But Lifesteal is going to be the choice from ASG, and this is looking like it might be potentially this offensive tri-lane from them. Good damage, good lockdown, and a great way to keep the Phantom Lancer out of the game early on. Nyx will be a bit of a pest, though Keeper of Light helps to counteract it at least a little bit with the Chakra Magic. It just means that those two abilities are sort of cut out of the equation. Keeper of Light is going to be mana burn, he's going to mana himself, he won't be able to mana anyone else, which frankly sucks for the Bane, since his starting int, his int growth is pretty bad and his mana costs are very, very high. So yeah, he has mana problems early on and definitely needs to be looking to pick up some fast arcanes. And winRAR with ASG choosing to lock into their tri-lane are going to be able to ban out quite a few solos, and then also grab one for themselves since they've got the first pick coming out of this phase. So they're going to be able to secure one of the strong remaining solos. And actually opting to ban out the Bounty Hunter makes a little bit more sense in the context of having Phantom Lancer, and BH can be a pain with the track. Though as far as solo matchups go, I think there's still enough space in the draft that he wouldn't necessarily have been too much of a problem. But it's also just a question of taste for these remaining few picks. Teams just banning out what they don't want to play against, and then also, negotiating it with their own draft. So Silence is going to be banned out here by ASG, nobody wanting to be caught by surprise by that one. Frankly, ASG pretty single target oriented right now. winRAR have some great potential team fight combos. Though we'll see how much space they're going to be able to free up with the Magnus in this situation. And Luna actually the ban out here by winRAR as well. She can potentially be a solo, especially if she's up against a weaker solo hero. So not too bad there. And ASG, how are they going to round things out? They already got rid of the defensive support of the Shadow Demon, and we might just see something like a Jakiro ban as well, if they're really looking to press this offensive tri-lane that they have sort of got formed up right now. And winRAR, again, it's dual melee for them. They are going to be quite susceptible to being offensively tri-laned against, and the Jakiro would be a nice pickup to have to try and create that little bit of space. Behind the Keeper of the Light, he's pretty much the best defensive tri-lane support. winRAR could go for something like a Visage or an Undying as well to try and turn around that bottom lane, but the Undying would be leaving them with 4 melee already on the field, and then they might be opening themselves up to something like a black hole, to an Enigma pickup, frankly. So Jakiro is going to be banned out by ASG. Rubik manages to sneak his way through and is actually going to be in the hands of winRAR, so not a bad defensive support there by any stretch of the imagination. And to Rhodes in chat, yes, isn't that popular at the moment? Me and my friends are convinced that Fissure is broken and it behaves really differently in Dota 2 to how it does in Dota 1. But that's probably not the reason. He's not that strong anymore, and if you compare ES to Jakiro or ES to Nyx, which is sort of the spot that he's competing for, he's not that great. And Echo Slam is okay against PL, but he does have a lot of passive magic resistance from the Phantom Edge, so that makes it a little bit less effective, and it's just difficult to lane in Earthshaker these days, I think, as well. You need to be getting a lot out of your supports, and you need to have a lot of really effective abilities on them, and these days Earthshaker unfortunately has basically 2 abilities that don't really add that much, and Fissure. And yeah, that's not a great situation to be in. Gyrocopter's going to be picked up here by ASG, so we'll see how this is going to be laned. It's probably going to be Gyrocopter heading towards mid. I mentioned him as the potential carry for the defensive tri-lane, but Lifestealer can't really solo that well, and Gyrocopter does fantastically. So they're not going to, I don't think they're going to have the power of the Gyrocopter in that tri-lane unless they bump the Bane out and bring the Gyro in as a support. But a pretty good solo regardless, and as we've seen, is a pretty good matchup against the Magnus. And yeah, as once you guys get my commentary on why ES isn't picked, you guys have already covered pretty much all the points, so exciting stuff. Nicely done in chat by Raining T and Pandarn. Sorry guys, just having a very quick sip of water. And winRAR are going to round out the lineup for winRAR. So that's going to be their last solo. Defensive tar lane composed of Nyx, PL, and Rubik. And ASG, not too obvious what the lanes are going to be so far, but it's going to be an Invoker. And I love it, and it might be a Sunstrike Invoker because they've got Bane for setup, and that would be fun to see. Bane isn't necessarily great setup for Sunstrikes, since you can always have one of the target's teammates pull the Nightmare off and then avoid the Sunstrike. But it's fun to see, and I'm really looking forward to the Invoker in this game. He hasn't been very popular of late since he got nerfed, and then all of his favorite goodies got nerfed as well, Force Staff and Drum, both receiving pretty significant nerfs in the same patch. So we haven't seen a lot of Invoker lately, though. He does still have a niche, and he's still so fun to play, can still be so powerful. So we're going to see some action in this game, and Love from Above going to be playing that Invoker. We're just waiting on ASG to pick up their last hero, and then I'll remember to switch my overlays, and we'll be getting underway with the game. Again, I do have to do all of this manually, since my hotkeys completely broke. But anyway, welcome into the game, and we're just going to have a very quick pause. We've got the line drawn from Ezreal down on bot. That's the direction, and yeah, we just have a quick bio break apparently. So over on the side of ASG, we're gonna have Renox playing the Bane. It's gonna be Schnuffelator playing the Keeper of the Light. Love from Above on the Invoker. T_J is gonna be on the Gyrocopter. So if you're looking for this team in the bracket, this is winRAR against T_J, and T_J just using his name as opposed to the team name when signing up, and Zaki is gonna be on the Lifestealer. And anyway, over on the side of winRAR, we're going to have Frozer playing the Phantom Lancer. It's going to be Kriatret on the Rubik. We've got Vicus on the Magnus, Tux on the winRAR, and Ezreal on the Nyx Assassin. And still just waiting for this pause. We have some scribbling on the map, which I can contribute to, but they can't see. And that's an 8, not the start of anything else. And we're going to be getting underway. I started drawing that and I realized, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake. That's not what it looks like, and we've got a swastika from Tux there, but no comment, frankly. Anyway, so we're going to be getting underway with this game in just a second. Looks like the Invoker's going to be taking a solo top. Gyrocopter more than likely going to be heading towards mid, and he's even being pooled regen right now. Has those tangos there, and actually so he can start with a Wraith Band. So not going to be a bottle rush at all from him, which is a little bit interesting to see, frankly. But the Wraith Band going to be a big help, especially if he's against the Magnus on mid. And we haven't seen just yet how these matchups are going to be going. Tux and Vicus actually just stocking up on regen and a little bit of tankiness there. And shout out to winRAR. Okay, so we actually have winRAR just invading their, well, not invading, but camping out in their own jungle right now. Looking to stop any warding or any shenanigans from ASG. There are some sentries up on ASG, which is always a nice pickup to have when you have the Keeper of the Light, because he is very item independent, and it also means that ping, 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 ping. That's the Radiant Ward. Ping, 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 ping. Anyway, more pings. But it's nice to have, since you can de-ward the potential Observer Wards, as we do already see, from the side of winRAR, which means that you can get sneaky Illuminates off over the course of the game. Zaki is actually looking to go for a bit of just got an eyeful of their team logo. So, oh, is it these guys? Okay, so there's a bit of a story here, and I think it might be the case. There is a team in the team matchmaking rankings right now whose name is a German name, and they are ranked number 2 or something currently on the team matchmaking rankings, and their name effectively means taking a run-up instead of using lube. But so that's caused a little bit of controversy. Ezreal has actually gone for the very first point in the Carapace to try and keep that Illuminate damage off from him, so that's nicely played. I'm not sure if he actually skilled that up preemptively or if that was right then, but yeah, I don't know if this ASG is the same team that's actually on the team matchmaking rankings. And Kriatret comes forward. He manages to cancel a couple of clarities there, which is definitely worth the harassment that he took. So nice little play there from the Rubik, and ASG not expecting to be gone on so aggressively to start things off. Nake's already dropping fairly low, down at about half, and Ezreal off to the side. ASG haven't been able to get any wards down just yet, and they are being spotted out by this Radiant Observer Ward, which was part of the reason that Ezreal didn't get hit by the Illuminate. And as I said, Having those wards down is great, so you don't cop that absolutely huge damage. And Renox going to turn himself around, considers the Nightmare going to be lifted back behind enemy lines right now, that there isn't an Impale ready to go on his lure. Oh, the Reflect onto Snufflator, and oh, what's happening right now? Creature in trouble. The Sunstrike, is it going to connect? Not, yes! I'm not even sure if that connected, but it looks like it might have. And Snufflator is going to be able to draw the first blood. Frozer now in trouble. Doesn't have Doppelwalk or anything just yet. And a couple more right clicks might do it here. Looks like Zaki is going to back himself off. The Illuminate comes through. Double kill for the Keeper of the Light. This tri-lane working out well so far. And Eslor still trying to chase out, but he's only got the Carapace so far. So not really able to do all that much. And the angry Phantom Lancer returns to the lane. Throws out a Spirit Lance with the base regen, but that's going to be about it. And ASG now have some pretty good levels, up to level 3 on almost everybody. Well, actually level 2 on the 2 supports, and level 3 on the farmer. And yeah, tri-lane now looking pretty good for them so far. And T_J going to be able to head himself down and find the 2-minute rune right as he gets his bottle dropped off. So doing a great job as far as CS goes on mid, though Vicus on that Magnus is doing a pretty good job and staying right up there with him. Up on top, the matchup is Windrunner against Invoker on a flat lane without all that much picked up on the Invoker. We do actually have the Windrunner pulling ahead, but Invoker isn't looking to win this lane. He's looking to Sunstrike the bottom lane and deliver his love from above. So we'll see how this all works out for him. He's now out of regen. Didn't actually get the starting items to work towards some Tranquil Boots up on top. So we'll see how long he's going to be able to sustain this top lane. And Tuck's already putting some pressure on. He has the Bassi up right now. Zaki and Frozer just trading some hits down on bottom lane. And we've got some Sentry Wards thrown out by ASG, but they don't actually manage to spot out this Observer Ward, which is actually what's providing them vision of the Keeper of the Light. In comes T_J, but the Creep Wave is here to meet him as well, so trying to put some damage out on the winner. Tuck's not going to be able to connect that power shot, and now Love from Above comes in, but only gets one tick out of that Cold Snap, and it is the initial tick, so T_J gonna have to go back empty-handed, and a little bit of bad timing, frankly, coming in right as that Creep Wave arrived. He does still have a couple of Bottle Sips and the Tango available, so it doesn't hurt him that much, but a bit of a misplay or a messed up gank on that top lane. Still only the 2 kills in favor of ASG right now, and Keeper of Light trying to make his way around for this Illuminate. Frozer's going to be in trouble. He's going to be immediately dropped down. Not expecting that one, or just not able to get out of the way in time. Open Wounds wasn't even used. It's a 24-second cooldown, and if it's not on cooldown, with such a long cooldown, said cooldown too many times, then you can be pretty sure that they didn't have to use it. So Frozer was actually just standing his ground there and ends up paying for it. So this aggressive tri-lane working out fantastically as far as shutting down the Phantom Lancer goes. And Keeper of Light now with the second point up in Chakra Magic, so now fueling the spam on the Bane. I said it was going to be a bit of a problem if the lane got off to a bad start, but Eslor hasn't actually got a point in the mana burn just yet, so bottom lane doing fine. And the response from winRAR is actually going to be to smoke towards the middle lane. Gyrocopter very susceptible to ganks, and then at about half HP waiting for that Bottle Crow to come in. The missed call should be there from ASG, but no, the skewer back. T_J may die to Vicus solo, so the support's not actually needed, and Frubik's going to lose his out. Oh, the Sunstrike attempted. It will connect on Eslor. Nice little play there from Love from Above, but not able to find the kill, and the salve immediately popped from the Rubik. So good attempt, A for effort, but not able to find it. And that was a solo kill for Vicus on mid, so did a really good job. Didn't even have to pop the polarity for that one, and does now have even more kill potential with that. So mid lane, doing really well for the Magnus at this point in time, and even out CSing the Gyrocopter as well. So, and top lane, Tux is doing a great job against the Invoker, so all of the attention is being put down on this bottom lane to try and shut down the Phantom Lancer, which that endeavor is going well. We've got the Open Wounds out on Eslor. Oh, he walks straight in the Sunstrike. Is it going to connect? It will clip the back of Frozer. Looks like Zaki is going to drop regardless. However, the Nightmare keeping him alive. Nicely played. Will he be denied? They pull the Nightmare off, actually letting Eslor pick up that kill. Now the Nightmare and Frozer, the Sunstrike has already been used, and the Keeper of the Light drops, lift up into the air. Not quite coordinated perfectly with the Impale, but Eslor pops out the Carapace, will not die. And that's 3 kills going the way of winRAR down in this bottom lane. A very aggressive dive from ASG, punished in a very big way. So now back to 1 kill the split in this game. Love from Above fairly low up on top. Almost has his Tranquil Boots finished, but needs needs to get that Ring of Protection flown out in just a second. Tux is low as well, doesn't really have all that much mana either, so it's fairly conservative farming, but Vicus comes in from the rear, love from above, no escape, one right click going to do it. And was that just the illusion being tricky enough on mid? I don't know if T_J was fooled, but, well, Invoker died regardless, so now the two solo lanes working out really well for winRAR, and finding that recovery space down on bot, and managing to keep the tower, well, managing to keep the creep wave right back by the tower as well. So we haven't actually seen that much potential for aggression from ASG. They need to try and just mess up the creep equilibrium, frankly. Get it to bounce back in their favor, and then maybe try and go for something aggressive. And Vicus still just chilling out up on top. He's still got the reverse polarity available, and Love from Above has made his way back up, but now very, very low on mana. Down on bot, we've got a kill going the way of the Nyx Assassin, and they actually managed to find the Keeper of the Light there. Not a whole lot that Renox could do, and now, again, missing a second kill, but Tux and Vicus, we sort of saw how this one was going to play out. They come up, and they throw the polarity on the unsuspecting Invoker. So another kill going the way of winRAR, now leading by 4 on the map, and about a 3k XP lead, along with a 1k gold lead punched back towards them. Unfortunately, ASG don't really have room to break up this tri-lane right now, and things are getting worse and worse. They got off to such a good start, but maybe got overconfident, or positioning started to fall apart, since Keeper of Light has been caught out a couple of times. Ezlor still chasing forward aggressively. He's got the 3rd point up in that Impale right now. And Lifestealer with some phase boots, but the wave is still right underneath this tower. Froze are going to take a little bit of harassment. Love from Above just chilling out all the way back behind the tier 2. Fortification is going to pop for the tier 1, but Tux putting out some good damage, especially with the Bassi. And with those phase boots and the Sunstrike attempting to connect. Will it on Frozer? They don't need it. Vicus jumps in, gets a skewer on 2. Zaki trying to slow him down a little bit, but Ezlor from the rear. There is an Illuminate flying out, and Ezlor still chasing through. He's got an Impale. He's got the Carapace. There's a Nightmare up on him, but looks like the Keeper of Light going to be going down regardless. Vicus, he's threatening the nuke. Now has Ezlor. No, doesn't have him cornered. He jukes. Nicely played there. We have the Nyx Assassin falling as he jukes into the trees, and now Vicus, a little bit of turnaround on him. The homing missile going to be coming in just a sec. We've got a buyback from the Nyx, trying to scare everybody away. Frozer jumping through. The Rocket Barrage doing some okay damage, but soaked up by the illusions and by the creeps. The Keeper of the Light still very, very low. We've got a skewer onto the Bane. Tries to brain tap himself back to health, but not enough. T_J still low. The Impale already used. Looks like he's going to be fine to make his escape. So 2 kills going the way of winRAR down in this bottom lane, and the Infest used by the Lifestealer to try and escape. Looks like he's going to be fine. Frozer comes back in. A little bit of damage taken by T_J. Out pops Zaki. Goes for well, right clicks down the illusion, but the Impale is actually going to connect on the very last second of that. The Sunstrike comes in, but not going to connect on Vicus, and looks like T_J going to go down as well. Nicely played with the skewer, and that's now a 6-kill lead in favor of winRAR. Nyx buys back into the game, but not going to find anything on this bottom lane. And winRAR, just the last 2 minutes, so incredibly potent for them. And yeah, sorry guys about the Nyx named Ezlor being confusing. I'll call him Nyx, and I will call Coddle either Schnufflater, or I'll call him Keeper of the Light. So that to help clarify things a little bit. Love from Above found a little bit of farm up on top, and not actually going to be going towards Tranquils, perhaps. Has a Belt of Strength picked up. We've got another kill going the way of winRAR down on bot. Rubik came in, and the angry Rubik raged up. Finds a kill on the Lifestealer of all people. So we did have Tux make a movement down towards that bottom lane to find that kill, but yeah, sorry, map awareness failing me a little bit there on that one, guys. Vicus now with some Arcane Boots up. It's a 7-kill lead in favor of winRAR. And having won every single lane fairly convincingly, gonna have to be happy with the position that they're in this game. ASG are still running pretty much tri-carry, if you count the Invoker among that number. And we've got a smoke coming down and around from ASG, heading towards mid. Tux and Vicus tanking up the tower a little bit, looking for T_J, but he's actually just off to the side right now. So well evaded, though. It doesn't look like the smoke gank is going to connect. And Ezlor now, Nyx Assassin finding a little bit of farm down on bot. Again, sorry about that one, guys. He's got an easy to pronounce name, so I'm trying to stick with it. Oh, I've got the Fiend's Grip going out on Frozer on mid, and the call down in over the top. Looks like he will drop the Impale. Oh, the Illuminate, sorry, there as well. And Creature now being chased. Sunstrike is going to connect. Love from Above. Nicely played there. T_J trying to escape. Tuck's going to come in. No real shackle targets right now. I'm going to throw the power shot as he immediately gets nightmared. So preventing any charge on that power shot, and TJ looks like he's going to be fine to escape. Love from above. Would have gotten some EXP from that Sunstrike as well, since it was his kill. And that's always nice for him in trying to recover up on this top lane, and actually finding some really good farm right now. So ASG showing that they are down but far from out, and making full use of that Fiend's Grip the instant that they had it. Zaki needs to be careful about trading hits with Frozer down in this bottom lane. It's going to pop the Infest just to try and top himself off and get some pings out on mid. 3 grouped up. Vicus still has that, still has the reverse polarity available to use. And we're going to have a very quick pause from Gyro. As far as overall XP goes, it's still about 2k in favor of the Radiant, with about a 1k gold lead though, trending back towards ASG right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it right now. That I'm not wrong about ASG, so just give me a second, guys. And they've dropped down, maybe. I'm just looking at the team rankings right now on Dota Buff. And more people have actually been playing, so it's a little bit more difficult. No, it is them. Okay, so exciting stuff. So I was right. That's what their name means. Yeah, I'll just call them ASG, I think. So yeah, overall strategy, what's going on right now? Love from above has some treads picked up. I'll show you guys the overall item progression. Tuck's making some really good progression towards his mech right now. Frozer just with the Ring of Aquila. We've got some arcane moves picked up both by the Ribic and by Vicus, and unfortunately the supports over on ASG not quite so luxurious at the moment. And Nyx even making his way. Oh, has a Null Talisman picked up. Doesn't necessarily have to be the Dagon. Could just be casual Null, get a little bit more mana out for his full combo. Since he is now level 6, well now level 7 as well, which makes it a little bit more difficult to pull the whole combo off without some extra stats. And as far as warding goes, it's just a little bit of Rune Vision from both sides. ASG with the fresh ward up on top, and winRAR just about to lose the last little bit of vision down in the bottom lane. So hopefully they'll get around to refreshing that. And we don't actually have any wards up on any of the supports right now. There may be some on the courier. No. Okay, so winRAR going to be a little bit blind for no, actually, what am I talking about? That's a Radiant ward. I'm an idiot. So the Radiant have some fresh warding down. ASG need to look to refresh their wards quite soon, but they actually have obs up. So I'm just losing it right now. Yeah, we've got a line drawn up towards top by the Nyx. A couple of pings going out on some camps. That's about it right now. We are still paused, so both teams could potentially be looking either at the stream or at Dota TV to be figuring out what was happening before the pause. Though nobody is disconnected, so it's not the teams themselves spectating off Dota TV, I guess, as a random aside. As far as overall tactics go, I think you still have to favor winRAR a little bit heading towards the late game. PL is just going to be absolutely devastating. And ASG needs to try and take this in the mid game, where carries like Gyrocopter and Nyx are going to be at their absolute peak. Invoker, Nyx, and Gyro do scale quite well into the late game, and if they start getting things up like a Hex on the Invoker, they've got a lot of single target lockdown on the Bane as well. There are ways to deal with the PL, but he is going to get pretty out of hand in this game, and Tux, at the rate that he's going, will be able to pick up some damage towards the late game as well. And ASG looks like they are now ready to go, so we're going to have an unpause in just a second. And yeah, that's about it right now. Looks like Love from above actually making his way towards a Force Staff with that Ring of Regen. Not going to be some Tranquils. And, oh, Invoker. Sunstrike down on bot. I thought Peel was doppelwalked the whole time. So nicely played there. Yeah, I guess figuring out where he was, but if he was still doppelwalked when that happened, that was an extremely good guess. PL may have revealed himself, and then it looks like Zaki popped out as well with the Infest damage. But yeah, oh, Keeper of Light pops on mid. Ezler comes in with the gank. He did use the Well, did use the Vendetta to try and find that one. The call down thrown over the top. Vicus comes through, but doesn't actually manage to skewer anyone. Going to reverse polarity out on TJ. The Shackle will connect, so Tux can be able to pick up that kill. Now turning their attention towards Renox. They are out of disables right now, however. And the Sunstrike, love from above, does it again. Nicely played there, managing to kill off the Nyx Assassin. And I don't think there was a Carapace available for that one. Probably just enough mana. So, nicely played. It's a 1-for-1 exchange on mid with even the reverse polarity being used. It looks like the tier 1 tower is going to be taken here by winRAR. Love from above, out of mana right now. That looks like he's got his Force Staff finished all of those Sunstrike kills. Getting him back in the game in a big way. And as far as net worth goes, only a little bit behind the winner. So again, while I said winRAR does really well in the 1v1 matchup, if Love from above is able to connect Sunstrikes, then it's a little bit less relevant. He's gone for the 2 Forge Spirit build, 4 Quas and 4 Exhort, so you get 4 Quas and 4 Exhort. You get 2 Forge Spirits as opposed to 1 anything above that. You still stay at 2, so it's a big boost in the effectiveness of the spell. And nice to see it. It's some pretty good ganking potential as well. And the Forge Spirits are nice just to throw out a little bit of harassment and some scouting. And frankly, 4 points, well, the rank 4 Sunstrike is doing enough damage to find pickoffs at this point. Anyway, we've got Infest up in a creep right now from the Nyx, so sneaky peeky from him. They throw in a Sentry Ward as well. Just trying to spot out the Phantom Lancer, but it's 5 from winRAR down in the bottom lane. The Vendetta pops from the Nyx Assassin. The Shackle attempted, will not latch. Nyx thinking, oh my god, I'm in a little bit of a bad spot right now. Pops out Rage. Phase Boots are trying to escape. Love from above. The call down, trying to buy a little bit of space. The Illuminate pops in over the top, moving at lightning speed as well ever since that last patch. Bumps up the speed of most of the wave-based abilities, so yeah, it moves crazy fast right now. It's really difficult to dodge, and everybody copying a little bit of that one. We've got TJ pushing on mid, and it looks like he's going to be able to take this tower. It is going to be last hit by the Dire, but that's more gold overall for them, as opposed to gold pooled on the Gyrocopter. And the pings go out, winRAR want the tower, and the reverse polarity is now available, and Illuminate going to try and slow this down a little bit. Deflect from Nyx actually finds the kill on Keeper of the Light, and then Vicus skewers himself through. Looks like Love from above did manage to find 1 kill in the middle of all this, but a Shackle on 2 right now. So Nyx went down, but it's in exchange for 2. Tux being chased, homing missile up on him. We've got some Fade Bolt spam flying out. Frozer actually cold snapped out of the TP, running off to the side. Sunstrike not going to connect. Though he's still in the back, going to reveal himself. Vicus still underneath the Sentry Ward. There's still one there. The reverse polarity thrown out, but looks like the call down might just finish him off. The second charge, not quite enough. Stick charges are there, but right clicks going to bring him down. Frozer comes back in. Tux wants some action, but he's actually completely out of mana. And Snufflater has made it back into the fight. Cold Snap up on Tux, out of mana. Ezreal jumps back into the fight. Vendetta immediately from him. The Illuminate in over the top. He wants the Keeper of the Light. We've got a Sentry Ward drop from Renox coming in from the side. They spot the Nyx. He hides off to the side. Still looking for this. Going to throw out the Vendetta and the initiation. Nice Ice Wall. Going to buy them some time, but Love from above. Now shackled up to the trees. We've got the spiked Carapace up on Ezlor, but Zeki just does not care. Pops off the Rage. Now just trying to run away. There's a Fiend's Grip up from Renox. The Sunstrike, will it connect? The Mech pops to try and keep Vegas alive, but the Blinding Light knocks him back into the right click. Love from above going to force staff himself forward. Aggressively Illuminate in over the top. Our right click's going to be enough. No, looks like Vegas going to survive on 20 HP there, and nothing left to finish him off. Renox wants the kill. But comes around and not going to be able to find anything. The team fight continues down on bot, and Tux now slept as the homing missile makes its approach. He doesn't have any mana to do anything. Call down over the top one more time. More kills going the way of ASG, and Love from above. You got 20 seconds. Though it looks like Vegas is going to be fine to make his way back to base. So there's not going to be any sneaky Sunstrikes, and there isn't a buyback available on the Invoker either. But nice overall team fight. Now only a 3-kill split for ASG, and swinging the XP and gold back in their favor by about 1k right now. Going to be able to claim a tier 1 at the same time. So the Sentry Wards doing work, helped them find a kill on the Magnus, forced him to panic during the Invis rune, and then also not really letting the Nyx get that Vendetta initiation. So looking a little bit more even right now. Phantom Lancer, not a whole lot of farm up on him. He's been active around the map, and the fight's been coming to his lane. It's only a 1. Well, there's no deficit as far as towers go. No, that's actually a one tower deficit for winRAR right now. Love from above has his first point picked up in Wex, so we're going to have the Meteor, Deafening Blast, most notably available for him, though also a fairly long duration but very short range Tornado. So get some nice flexibility out of his build right there, and Nyx Assassin finds himself a haste. Vendetta up as well. Gonna try and find a pick off the low from above. Perhaps a little bit too tanky for the full burst routine from Nyx to work. So he's gonna actually just back himself out there. And Creatrat actually has a stolen Fiend's Grip up right now, which is going to be a big help at killing the lifestealer. He's actually farming a little bit up on top, and looks like he's perhaps making his way towards an Orchid right now with a Quarterstaff. We've got the Blink Dagger finished up for the Magnus, so Vikings doing a pretty good job as far as farm goes. And before that death down on bot, he was 4 for 0 for 6, I believe. We've got defensive warding up from winRAR right now, but holding on into the game, and we've got PL finding a little bit of farm, though he's actually pushing this tier 1 down on bot. ASG come in to try and contest. The Fiends are going to be thrown out on Frozer. Immediately the Illuminate flies in over the top. They need this Sunstrike. The mech pops, knocking him back. Blinding Light as well is fantastic. Sunstrike not needed, but just there to make sure. And Frozer does drop, so some nice initiation from ASG and good coordination to back it up. It's a fight in the river right now. Ezreal chasing forward aggressively, Love from above. A little bit split off. The homing missile comes in over the top, trying to buy a little bit of space. The Skewer comes through on Love, and now the call down, Force Staff away. The sleep as well. Looks like he was trying to invoke Ghost Walk at the same time. Rubik does manage to find that kill, and now winRAR just going to be backing themselves off. Keeper of the Light, Illuminate up on the high ground, but not going to be connecting on anyone. Looks like winRAR might just back themselves out. The homing missile flies through one more time, but just going to be reflected there and by the Nyx Assassin. And Frozer done with what's happening down on bot, done with dying. He's got 7 deaths to his name right now, so ASG doing a really good job of shutting him down. Just going to head up towards top and try and farm up this really big wave that's coming his way right now. But yeah, what a game so far. Nyx is working his way towards an Orchid right now, which is going to be huge against both winRAR and Magnus, who are pretty much all the initiation that winRAR have right now, so I love the pickup. And I guess for anyone in the Australian scene, it's very Black Shaitan-esque, I suppose. And T_J, they've still got vision on Tux, homing missile flying through, but he's got 4 points up in the win run, so fine to make his escape. The homing missile will still connect. 4 staff away. I don't think anyone's going to be able to kill this in time, will they? Tower hits, Rubik hit, just enough. Tux with some fancy footwork there to escape. So Frozer tries to farm on top. He's a long way from getting anything. We've almost got the Fiend's Grip up again on the Bane, so Renox has that off cooldown right now. And Rage the steal at the moment for the Rubik. But ASG, Tier 1 tower is now all down. It's a little bit more difficult for them to try and push into the Tier 2s, but the nice thing about their lineup is that it's not really that bad during this sort of mid-game period to actually just be finding farm and, you know, finding superior farm to winRAR. Actually, at the moment, winRAR pushing the farm back towards even. I've got some pings going out. Ezreal looking to do a bit of scouting, but there is a sentry ward here, going to be spotting him out. Love from above. Impale on him. We've got the Keeper of Light trying to bring someone in. Love from above being bursted down. Will he drop? Yes, he will. Lift it up. Renox considers going from the side, and that's going to be it. Nice gank picked up by Team winRAR and finding themselves a little bit of space. The Impale not going to connect on the Bane there, so looks like he's going to be fine to run himself away. And Zaki, someone's going to have to help me with that one. Just farming his way towards his Orchid right now. So we'll hopefully have that one finished up within the next couple of minutes. Maybe about 3 minutes, especially given that he's jungling right now. It's a little bit slower, and he hasn't... Well, he does have the recipe up already, so he's just... And the Quarterstaff, so he's got the most expensive components finished. Probably a little bit faster than that earlier estimate that I just gave, literally a few seconds ago. But anyway, so he's just working his way towards that. Frozer finding a little bit of farm, actually 1.8k gold up in the bank for him, so pushing that net worth up. The dust is going to pop, however, and Lifestealer wants this solo kill. The Sunstrike going to connect as well. Nicely played. He could... No, it doesn't actually have the invest available, but one more right click. Going to find him that kill. Nice awareness from ASG. Rage hunt available for a couple of seconds to lift back. Vegas comes in looking for the reverse polarity. In fact, they want this kill. They are angry. There's the shackle as well. And I think a lot of that hate coming in spirit from the Phantom Lancer, who adds his 8th death to the tally. So even more kills going back and forth. Nyx doesn't look like he actually managed to shop up anything before he died, so doesn't have his quick buy hotkey set up, but not a big deal. winRAR push in on the top lane, but there's no tier 1 for them to take here, so they're going to have to change directions a little bit, and ASG going to have the Lifestealer rejoining their ranks in just a second. Love from above, still just chilling out down on bot, and maybe has something up in the courier. Not really, so that death at the Ancient slowing him down a little bit as far as progressing towards that next item goes. And I suspect it might be a drum just out of that bracer for some bonus move speed for the Nakes. Though the Keeper of Light does look like he could build that one as well. We don't have anyone working towards a mech, however, so I think that needs to be the pickup for the Coddle. So Kurtrat, he's working his way towards a drum. Speaking of bongos, Frozer now has some treads up, but losing some gold to that gank from the Nakes as well. We've got some ping spam going out from winRAR. They've got a 4-staff and a mech finished up on Tux, so doing a pretty good job there. And as they're going to throw down an OBS, but there's a very swift sentry here to deal with that. And they spotted out the Vendetta, so ASG just going to wisely back themselves up, and back themselves up to the safety of this sentry ward. So just going to be huddling around that. Oh, Zaki comes in again down on bot. They need the Sunstrike. They need to connect. Is it going to connect? Frozer takes the damage, but it's split amongst some creeps a little bit. He does have the Infest available, but all the TP is now heading down. So he is booking it for freedom right now. Lucian's still maintaining vision, but I don't think they have enough gap closers. Tuck's coming forward. He does still have that 4-staff up. And Zeki, go buy a TP, just rage and TP. They'd have to pop reverse polarity to kill you. Oh, he gets impaled. Rage TP, rage TP, rage TP. Magnus is still a little bit too far away, but he has a blink and he can reverse polarity. But looks like the walk is going to be enough for the Lifestealer to escape. We've got some pings out on bot. He doesn't want to leave since they want to try and take this fight. Fortification's going to pop as well, but TJ a little bit far away. Looks like the tier 1 going to go down regardless. And what the heck, Nags? You walked straight in and you died. But okay, that's fine. We've got a Nyx 4-staff forward looking for TJ. He's still got the Vendetta, but needs the Impale in just a second. Doesn't have that up there. Reverse Polarity thrown out on 1. Looking for the pickup on the Gyrocopter, the Shackle, the Impale. A million stacked stuns, but it doesn't matter. They're going to find that kill regardless. And winRAR just going from strength to strength right now, and all the while finding farming space for the Phantom Lancer. Left from above, doing a little split pushing up on the top lane, and going to invoke the Alacrity as well, and just to try and speed things along. And it's fairly strong as well at the moment, with 2x and 4 Exhort. And Frozer puts some pressure on the tier 2 tower falls on bot, and winRAR find themselves some very much needed space. There's going to be a Fiend's Grip on Frozer on mid that's going to be stolen and immediately interrupted, so they were looking for the Sunstrike. But Invoker not feeling confident about connecting that one with all the creeps that were standing around. So we've got a stolen Fiend's Grip on the Rubik, and a bit of a misplay again from ASG. They're starting to really lose footing. The tier 2 on mid will fall very soon, and left from above now invokes the Sunstrike. Where is it going? It actually connected, it looks like, on Frozer, but just slightly too tanky to die there. So really nice job. The last time you saw the PL was over here with this ward. And Rubik swiftly realizing how that Sunstrike was so accurate, going to be able to get a D-ward off right there, but nicely played by him. Lifestealer is still a long way away from that Orchid with all of those unfortunate deaths, especially the one down on bot. Not sure what he was going for. Hopefully, well, I think relying on his reaction time to try and rage before everything got thrown at him, but he got exploded. So winRAR, note that there isn't an observer ward here since they just got rid of this, so this is a fairly good spot to smoke, though I don't think they have one up. No, they don't. So they're just going to be heading up towards mid. TJ's going to reveal himself. He does not have a BKB finished up, and that's going to be a full duration BKB available. Shackle attempted by Tux. Will not connect. They're walking up and around, and they're going to spot out the Lifestealer one more time. The Impale is going to be thrown down. Is there a Shackle tree right now? He needs to walk forward a little bit further. Might have been able to Shackle off that. Oh, there's a Fiend's Grip regardless. The reverse polarity used, though not really necessary. So Team winRAR find another kill on the Nakes and slowing down that Orchid bit by bit. And while PL was the shutdown carry earlier on in the game, Nakes now copping the full brunt of the hate right now. Love from above. Has that drum finished up? Do we have a mech? No, we have another drum on the Keeper of the Light, so it's a little bit of bongo band right now on ASG. And pings go out from winRAR, looking towards Roshan right now. There's only a tier 2 for them to claim up on top, and it's not a hugely important tower. It's pretty much just gold for them, not a whole lot of map control. So gonna get some warding and attempted de-warding done, buying themselves some space, but they're actually gonna be heading up towards mid. We've got another 4-staff, the Sunstrike in the Roshan pit. They see that they're not there. Now backing themselves out, but TJ actually going to the left along with Renox as Nyx coming into position. They're going to throw down a sentry. They spot out the Nyx, but now the burst immediately comes. TJ stunned up, needs to get the BKB off. Will be able to do so now with the turnaround, but the skewer attempted doesn't actually go through BKB anymore. TJ finding some space. Nice deafening bast there. Looks like it didn't quite connect on Tux. The stolen call down. TJ gonna have to dodge out of the way there. Looks like he's gonna be fine. Forced out away from love from above. Now we've got the open wounds and a fiend script up on the Nyx, dropping low. Tuck's gonna go for the cancel there, but just a little bit too late. The cold snap up on the winner. They need some damage on her right this second, but looks like everybody might be fine to escape. No, they've got another open wounds. It's maxed out. 4 staff away. Tux, couple more seconds until the next win run. And PL all the while putting some pressure down on bot. So ASG gonna decide to disengage in the end. Not a bad fight for them overall, but still very, very exciting Dota so far. And winRAR still finding themselves in an advantageous position, pushing out the XP and the gold leads all the while, just effectively playing 4v5 while letting their Phantom Lancer farm, which is working out fantastically. Looks like he's making his way perhaps towards a Manta style as that first big pickup, but doing so quite successfully. Does still need quite a bit of survivability, and so still needs to go sort of Manta defuse the heart, but he's getting along. And while his net worth isn't anything to write home about at the moment, it's climbing up there and will be able to eclipse love from above reasonably soon. Looks like the Invoker now making his way towards an Ags. So a nice fun build from him. It's going to take him long enough that it'll probably be worth it in terms of having enough points up to make all of his abilities effective, but also the build-up's nice. But a Hex is also going to be great later on in this game, especially as far as dealing with the Phantom Lancer goes. And pros are just scouting out a little bit with this illusion, which is doing a bit of an illusion cruise. That's not what it looks like in game, I believe, for the ASG guys, but a little bit suspicious all the same. TJ a little bit away from his team, and in comes the Nyx assassin. Is there going to be a shackle? Nicely latched there by Tux. Tornado trying to buy a little bit of space, but TJ already dropping low, throws out the call down. Great shot in from the side. There's a reverse polarity popping out on the Nyx, and the Fiend's Grip not cancelled but stolen. Looks like Nyx is going to go down. No, pops the stick charges. The Carapace up as well. 2 kills with no exchange so far. ASG 4 staffing away. Renox jukes. He throws out the Brain Step, gets a Nightmare nicely played, but it's not going to be enough. The Nightmare actually is now pulled off by him. Wants the survivability, but it's a triple kill from Frozer. We've got the Sunstrike thrown from love from above, and the Coddle hits the deck as he hides. Oh, he hides, but it's a Sentry Ward down. Looks like they won't be able to find this kill regardless. But nice team part from winRAR, and coming back into this game in a big way, and PL making his reappearance with a triple kill. So going fantastically for him. And while ASG are going to be respawning quite soon, they can put a little bit of damage down on the tier 3. And then perhaps look towards Roshan as well after that. We're going to have a drum charge popping off right as the fortification goes for ASG. Hero's going to be respawning in just a second, and Invoker needs to get those defensive invokes back up. He's now got the Spirit. We've got the call down thrown in over the top by the Gyrocopter just to try and find some space, and the Flak Cannon at the steal there by the Rubik. Good job covering the call down. They don't want to give that one away. And chasing, looking for picks. There is still a ward down to try and find a snap interrupt on a TP scroll, but looks like Nyx and Rubik just going to be running themselves away, and they do both have 4 stabs right now, so a little bit difficult to catch them. And Tux, now with the Scythe of Ice finished up, this is one farmed winner, and he's been playing fantastically this game. We've seen a lot of nicely connected shackles, and doing a great job. He's going to spot out love from above, but Cold Snap and the Spirit's going to force Tux back. He's pretty low on mana as well. Love from above, still chasing. He's got the Tornado ready. It's going to miss. Tux now with a turnaround. Doesn't have enough for the ultimate. Shackle's not going to latch. They're both just trading hits. Support coming in from both sides in just a second. And we've got a kill on nearby the Roshan pit. Sunstrike not going to connect with the Force Death. We do have the Orchid finished up. Oh, the reverse polarity on both the Bane and on the Nyx. Is there a steal available? No, there's no Fiend Script there. But Renox is going to go down regardless, and now Team winRAR. Shackle attempted up onto the high ground. Nyx out of the rage, going to be lifted back down. Lots of damage coming his way in just a second. Going to jump over to the Rubik. No Force Staff available, and now taking some good damage with the Orchid. The rest of the team chasing away, so it looks like Nyx is going to be able to find this kill. He does have a TP scroll available, but now just turning his attention to Vegas. Tux comes in. He's got the Hex up. Gonna throw it down on the Lifestealer, and Nyx looking to join this fight in just a second as well. The Force Staff forward. Lifestealer still just fighting valiantly, but we've got a Ghost Scepter up on the Magnus, and there's the Shackle. This should be enough burst damage at this point to finish off the Nyx, and just showing how much his survivability relies on actually hitting people. The second that he gets stunned, especially with a build like the Orchid, he goes down extremely quickly. And all the illusions manage to take out the tower down on bot, so cheeky plays from Frozer. And speaking of cheeky plays, he's actually backed by the Dire Fountain right now, trying to TP himself out. Looks like he's going to be fine. So some evasive maneuvers from him, though. Gets himself back to safety. He's got his Manta style finished up, and now making some progress towards a Diffusal Blade as well with the first Blade of Alacrity. So not a huge amount of farm on the Phantom Lancer, though is now ahead of the Invoker as far as farm goes. Not a whole lot of item progression for TJ, though he's going to have his first damage item quite soon. And looks like it's just going to be the Monkey King bar, judging from the Demon Edge. If it was going to be crit, then it would probably be the Crystallis before the Demon Edge. And looks like we're just waiting for, or we're going to have a very quick pause from Team winRAR right now. So ASG undeniably on the back foot right now, down by about 14 kills, 15k the XP lead in favor of winRAR, and 12k gold as well. It's frankly just the team fight's not working out well for ASG. I don't feel like we've had a full-scale engagement from them for a while. It always feels like 2 or 3 heroes get caught out, one dies, the rest come in, and then it's already a disadvantageous situation for them to be in because they've got a good on-paper straight-up teamfight combo. They've got the Gyrocopter, who can be there on the front lines with the BKB, and they've got a whole lot of backup as well. Nake's not all that tanky to really be at the front, but I mean they've got the potential teamfight there. It's just a question of executing it, and winRAR really running circles around them at the moment. Frozer now pushing out on the top lane. The PL split push coming alive a little bit right now, and the Shackle does actually connect on the Nyx. It was from the creep to the Nyx. Sorry, we've got an Illuminate in over the top. The Hex now up on Renox. Tux wants this kill. He's out of mana, but does have enough for the win run to try and escape. There's going to be a Nightmare up on him. Nyx comes in for the assist. There's the homing missile and the Chaos Meteor thrown in over the top. The Fiend's Grip up on Tux. Sunstrike to try and ensure this one will be able to connect. Renox does have the Brain Sap up in just a second. Reconsiders, however, gets stunned up. There's the Brain Sap. A little bit more survivability. Frozer dusted. Looks like didn't actually purge it. Managed to Manta split out as Lore still standing his ground. Coddle in a little bit of trouble, but we've got the Tornado to try and buy him some space. The lift up by the Rubik, now thrown back down. Nick's going to force staff himself away off to the side, and Creatrat still standing his ground. TJ Nightmare up, but Frozer going to find that kill regardless. Double kill for him, still just waiting around, microing those illusions. Love from above, still chasing. He's got the Sunstrike invoked. Looks like it won't just connect on the Rubik there, and the homing missile will chase, but that's going to be about it as far as that exchange goes. And Frozer managing to survive, going to have his Diffusal finished up in just a second. So nice overall engagement, but ASG just had to throw so much at Tux, and once he was gone, they sort of said, what do we have left? Well, we got nothing. They already threw the call down on top of him. They used Sunstrike, they used Chaos Meteor, they used Deafening Blast. He's just frankly quite tanky on the Windrunner right now, and that's a problem for ASG. They've got now more focused targets. I mean, we saw the Fiend's Grip being used on Tux as well. While previously they were able to save that exclusively for the Phantom Lancer. So he's now finding space in these fights as the other players on his team become bigger threats. And speaking of threats, Vegas has an AC finished up, so helping out the PL in a big way there. And definitely a worthwhile target to bring down as far as the auras go, but going to be difficult. TJ's going to pop off the BKB on mid, but it's strictly defensive, and now winRAR on the retreat out. The homing missile going to be chasing through. There is a Nightmare from Renox, though, dragged back on Tux. They're playing a little bit of pogo right now. The Sunstrike will connect on the Nyx, dropping fairly low. The mech is going to pop to try and find him some space. No Carapace available. One Force Staff away. The next Force Staff going to be up in just a second. Nice reverse spellarity comes in, connects on two. The Skewer in over the top. Love from above, purged up. Going to try and Ghost Walk himself away. Looks like he might be successful in that endeavor, but one already dead on the side of ASG, and now the Nags lifts it up into the air and dies before he can even hit the ground. ASG on the retreat, and GG well played going to be called by ASG. Just, I mean, really being baited on after what happened on mid. TJ wanted to make sure that the BKB, using the BKB charge wasn't a waste. But getting drawn straight out into the middle of winRAR. And yeah, winRAR takes another game. They're going to be advancing to the grand final. This is our semifinal for the Adroids TT eSports Dota 2 Weekly. And I was Baseskip bringing you guys this cast. And yep, so Schnufflater prefers WinZip as opposed to WinRAR. So, a completely unrelated note. And Vicus is a stand-in, so he's expressing his true preferences there. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, this is the Adroits TT Esports Dota 2 Weekly. This is one of our 2 semifinals. I've been Baseskip, and a reminder that all of the VODs for this tournament will be up on the Adroits TV YouTube channel, so that's adroits.com/Adroits TV. At Adroits Tweets is where you'll find the Adroits Twitter, and adroits.net is where you can pretty much find all of these links and more, as well as the next tournament, which will be run next week, though I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We're going to have the final score screen in just a second, and then we're going to be heading towards our grand final. We may be waiting around for the other semifinal to finish before we can get to that one, but yeah, grand final coming up soon. That's going to be a best of 3, and I hope to see you guys for that one. See you then.